My name is Mike Kittleson. I am a personal injury attorney at a small law firm in Renton, Washington. My client was rear-ended by another driver, and then the force of the impact actually pushed her forward into the car in front of her. And so there were two impacts that caused pretty severe back, neck, and hand injuries. My client is a longtime nurse. She is a lovely person, very determined to push through her injuries, go back to her life. So one of the biggest challenges was just getting her to seek medical treatment. Well, one of the big early obstacles was just the amount of time that had passed in between the injury itself and us getting on board. Because so much had happened, we also had the obstacle of the insurance company and the defense attorney being willing to sort of sit back and make us push towards trial. They were obviously in no hurry to get the case resolved and wanted to kick the can down the road, so to speak. We really wanted to work up each of the client's injuries, get to the point where we felt like we would be comfortable going to trial if the case did go to trial, and if not, we at least wanted to show the defense that we're ready to go to trial. So the initial strategy was to get experts to be able to testify about each of the client's injuries. So, we got the reports from our experts, we passed them around to one another, had them go into detail. They did examinations of our client. We got the DK Global animation from the surgery that she underwent, and then we sent a mediation memo to the defense and started our negotiations. We thought about DK Global fairly early on, I think, when the client was first recommended the surgery. So we put together a visual of the lower back surgery that the client underwent. It's called the laminectomy and foraminotomy, which is essentially where the surgeon cuts out a portion of the disc in the spine to give the nerves a little bit more room and to alleviate some of the irritation that comes from the disc bulging and sort of pressing on the nerve roots that run throughout the rest of the body, mainly to your legs and feet. And so the defense sort of looks down on these laminectomy and foraminotomy procedures and thinks that they're not as big of a deal. And so the visual really helped us to show them, no, this is still a big deal. Our client was cut into, this is what the inside of her body looked like as this surgery was being performed. And when a jury sees this, they're going to agree that this was a pretty awful thing for our client to have to go through as a result of the injuries she sustained from the defendant's negligence. So the case resolved at mediation. The defense's offer heading into mediation hadn't changed for a couple of years. The pre-litigation, they offered $75,000, and we negotiated with them at mediation and ultimately settled for $750,000. It's hard to overstate the impact that those animations have versus not coming in with visuals. I think most people are visual learners, and when you have a room of 12 strangers that are going to decide your case, it allows them to not just hear what's happening, but to feel it, and that sort of visceral reaction and that sort of visual knowledge of what somebody went through when they're standing in front of them in the courtroom, that makes all the difference in the world.